Well, one day God was looking down to earth and he saw all the evil that was going on. And so he decides to send an angel down to the earth to check it out. So the angel goes to earth for a time. And when he returned to God, he's like, yeah, it's really bad on the earth. 95% are bad and only 5% are good. Well, God thought for a moment. He's like, well, maybe I should have a second opinion. So he called another angel and sent him to the earth for a time. And when the second angel returned, he confirmed that, yeah, 95% of the earth was in decline, and only 5% were good. 5% were good. So God said, that's not good. It's not good for that 5% to be feeling like they're fighting this battle all on their own. So God decides he's going to send an email out to the 5% that were being good. It was going to encourage them, try to encourage them a little bit so they could remain steadfast and remain strong. Do you know what the email said? Oh, okay. You didn't get one either. Uh, how unfortunate. How unfortunate it is that devotion to God and obedience to his teaching seems to be so difficult to find nowadays. Even Christians struggle to demonstrate loyalty to God. A lot of Christians sit dutifully through a worship service, but their actions and their attitudes toward those on the other side of the sanctuary do not necessarily demonstrate a heart that is fully committed to God. Yesterday, I briefly mentioned the Great Commission in Mark 12:30, the Great Commandment in Mark 12:30. And in that Great Commandment, God or Jesus teaches us to love God with all our heart, all our soul, all our strength. But then he points out in verse 31 that just as important is to love your neighbor as yourself. And I worry that some Christians have forgotten that we also demonstrate loyalty to God through the ways that we love others, even those who are our enemies, even as somebody on the other side of the sanctuary. I don't, in the self-evaluation section, there's a question there. It's number 6. Please don't overlook that. Question number 6 asks, have I realized that loyalty is proven in the face of persecution? And not just when we are pressured to deny Christ, but to give in to hate. When we love those who hurt us or hate us, we are actually demonstrating loyalty to the Lord's commands. Look at Luke 6:27, for example. So, yeah, we surely demonstrate loyalty to the Lord when we stand with him, even when we are pressured to deny him. But keep this in mind. We also demonstrate loyalty to the Lord when we love those who don't love us. When our response to hate is love, we demonstrate that commitment to the Lord's commands is more important than our feelings or our emotions. That's what loyalty to an organization, our spouse, and to Jesus looks like, where commitment overrules emotions. I mean, certainly somebody who is floats from sports group to sports or sporting team to sporting team based upon who's winning. Based upon who's winning, we would not say that individual is very loyal to one organization or the next. The same way for the person who floats from spouse to spouse to spouse, we would not say they are very committed to loving their spouse, not very committed to the marriage vows. And for the Christian who, in their heart they say, well, I love God, but doesn't demonstrate a love for those that God has called us to love, The world's not going to look at them and say, well, at least they love God. No, the Lord's going to say they're not very good Christians, that they're not very loyal to the commands. So it's just as important for us, it is to love God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. So too must we choose to love those, even those who hate us. That's what it means to be loyal to the commands that God has given us. We're talking about loyalty this week, if you haven't figured that out. We'll be back again tomorrow on Transforming the World. I appreciate you spending time with me today. My name is Pastor Greg.